Hello, the PSN community, and welcome to another episode of Feature Friday. Today, I am joined by the very creative Louise Wynne from WILDKInd Interiors. Welcome, Louise. It's great to have you. How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm amazing, and I'm really excited to see what you're going to be sharing with our lovely viewers. So firstly, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us exactly what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. So as you've said, my name is Louise Wynne and my business is called WILDKInd Interiors. I provide a service for property investors and developers, whether they are selling properties or they're selling rooms. So in essence, I have two services. One is a staging for sale service where investors and developers can rent kit from me. Me and my team then go in and dress their property, their empty property for sale. So we furnish it, we put wall art up, accessories, soft furnishings, all those kind of show home items that really showcase a property nicely. And people can rent that from me for a minimum of 6 weeks. So that's one service. So it gives investors and developers who've got a small to medium sized portfolio the opportunity to really showcase that property and get the highest and fastest return on their investment. And the other service I offer is an interior design service whereby investors or developers who are time poor can use my interior design skills to make their HMOs or their serviced accommodation really stand out from the crowd and something a little bit different, so they can rent those rooms for a higher rate and reduce their voids.
Sounds amazing. It certainly sounds like the wow factor as well. But how did you actually get into it all?
So I've spent, since 2006, I've been a show home designer. So those big house builders like Barratt's and Persimmon, I work for someone else designing, installing and styling those show homes for many, many years. And I was doing that for a long time, like I say. And in the end, I just really wanted to do my own thing. And I had to keep away from those sort of national house builders that I'd worked for. So I thought, who can I work with using those same sort of skills that I've got, but in a slightly different way? So it made sense to work with investors and developers who have got, like I said before, a more of a small to medium sized portfolio. They're time poor, but they really want someone to take everything off their hands. So it's very much using those same skills that I learned throughout my show home design career, but just with a slightly different market. And I love it because I'm working with people who are directly affected by the positive nature of what interior design can do for investors. So it goes directly into the pockets of my clients' hands, which is really nice to see. So yeah, I'm loving it. I only set my business up in April 2022, so I'm very much building my network. I'm getting out there and speaking on different circuits and just trying to make investors who aren't aware, trying to educate them as to the benefits of great interior design.
Perfect. And where do you actually do you have a certain area that you work in?
If it's staging for sale, so that model whereby people can rent furniture from me for a property that's for sale, then I generally try and be within sort of 2.5 hours of Leeds where I'm based. If it's much further than that, then it doesn't become cost effective for my clients because of labour costs and fuel costs and travel time and all of that. I do have a good network of other people though that can serve other areas. And if it's interior design for SA or HMO, for example, I can do that remotely from anywhere. So that's that service. I can work all over the world if I need to. It depends on the service basically.
Perfect. So what would you say your biggest win has been so far?
Oh, good question. I mean, I absolutely love running my own business and meeting people. That has been a fabulous thing, and kind of growing my network. A big win for me was that in terms of my staging for sale business, I won the contract to be sole supplier for a kind of north-based developer of all their staging for sale show homes for the next minimum 3, possibly 5 years if all goes well, which I've no reason to think it won't. So that was a fantastic, because I won that contract. It was quite a complicated tender process, and I won that on the eve of my business's first birthday in April. So that was a really nice birthday present. But lots of wins. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but I don't want to bore you.
No, absolutely. And what did you actually spend the money on in terms of your birthday? Did you get yourself anything really nice?
Oh, do you know, I don't know if I actually did. You know, people say you need to celebrate the little wins and just sit back and, you know, congratulate yourself. And I'm not sure I actually did that properly. So maybe I'll have to do that at the end of this year as a belated well done.
Well, I hope you've at least got a birthday cake for it, though.
No, I'll have a second birthday cake. I'll do that.
Okay,
Good tip.
brilliant. So property can be great, and it can also be quite difficult at times as well. But what would you say your biggest learning has been so far?
Oh, good question. My biggest learning is that cliches are cliches because they're true, aren't they? But that cliche that your network is your net worth
Yeah, that
is
famous one.
such a good one. It's such a good one because it's so true. Like I said to you a few minutes ago, I've loved getting out there and meeting new people and kind of growing my network. And it's, you have to be patient with that kind of thing. You have to be in it for the long haul. And you know, now things are starting to bear fruit in terms of my network, but just making sure that I'm constantly going out there and meeting people, going to new networking events, doing everything I can to kind of be visible and keep my profile or raise my profile is so important. And I perhaps underestimated that when I first started. So, you know, I can be networking 4 times a week sometimes. You know, I just totally see how that is of such a benefit, and actually is a really lovely thing to do as well, generally speaking. I quite like morning networking meetings, actually. It's a nice way to start the day, and then you've got the whole day to do the rest of your work. So that's something I'm just sort of exploring at the moment.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. And what are your plans for the future then?
Apart from world domination, no, seriously, I want to very much grow that kind of staging for sale side of the business, and be known as really high quality, offering a fantastic service and bringing that level of design that I had in my previous career to the staging for sale market. Because I think sometimes that rental model, being able to rent furniture, is seen as quite a low cost, low budget thing to do. So I want to show that actually you can have a beautiful finish just by renting. You don't have to buy everything to get a beautiful finish. So I really want to kind of bang the drum about that and get out there and meet people. And you should never be selling an empty property. You should always get it staged. That's my opinion. And I want to kind of keep talking to developers about that. So that's kind of one side. And in terms of my interior design skills, want to just be working on some really exciting projects with developers and investors, apart hotels, mini hotels. I've worked on the bedroom refurb of a stately home earlier this year with a design partner. So more projects like that would be great.
Fantastic. And I'm sure you'll get there as well. And one of the things that I like to ask all my Feature Friday members is, if you could go back to being 16 years old, what would you tell yourself? And I think it's a great question because it goes back to your journey as well, but it also gives advice to the people who might be starting out at the beginning of their journey.
Yeah, mine absolutely definitely is, I was told to do art GCSE, and because I can't draw, I just sort of laughed and said, well, I'm not doing that. I had a neighbor who was a brilliant artist and he did art, and I was like, he is creative. I'm not creative at all. I can't draw. And I realized that that is complete codswallop. It's a polite way of saying it. You know, creativity comes in all shapes and sizes and all forms. And because I didn't do that, I ignored that and I went down a more academic route. It then affected what I did at university. I then spent 10 years in a career that I didn't enjoy, all because I had this really narrow version of what I thought creativity was. So yeah, I think everybody has the power to be creative. Every career has the ability to be creative. Creativity is obviously just thinking outside the box and creative problem solving. So I would tell myself to have more faith in myself in terms of that. And it might have taken me down a different path, and I got to where I am now a few years before. So definitely that's one of them. But there's obviously about a million different things I would tell myself. But that's the main one that always springs to mind.
That's brilliant advice, and I'm sure a lot of people will be able to take that as well. So you've been absolutely brilliant, and one of the things that I like to do is play a little bit of a game with all our Feature Friday members. It's just something to get to know them about behind the property, behind the interior design, behind the business, and it's called This and That. So simply what I do is I give you two options. Option one might be apple, option two might be banana, and then you just have to quickly choose which one you prefer. So the first one might be difficult: crisps or chocolate,
Oh, chocolate.
cereal or toast,
Toast.
Coke or Pepsi.
Neither. Coke.
Coke, okay. Success or happiness.
Well, it's got to be happiness.
Yeah, absolutely. And the final one, quite a difficult one again: travel in time or be able to fly.
That is a tricky one. Travel in time forward or backwards, or do you know, I don't think I want to do the travel in time thing. Fly.
Fly. Where would you fly to?
Oh, the moon?
The moon. Oh, that's quite interesting.
Don't know.
What about holiday destination? Where's your favourite place to go?
Oh, do you know, I would love to. I've never done the West Coast of America. I'd love to do that. That would be amazing. That's definitely on my bucket list. And we want to take my kids to Thailand. So if they could all fly as well, that would be fabulous.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to make them all fly as well. That's fantastic. Well,
but the happiness success thing is, you know, obviously you choose happiness because success can come from happiness anyway. So, you know, I think it's got to be happiness all the way, hasn't it?
And success is also measured in very different formats. Of course, a lot
True.
of people think about money, but it could be family. It could be your time that you've got able as well. It could be the environment you're in. It could be so many different factors.
Totally.
But as you mentioned, happiness comes first. If you're happy, then the success should hopefully follow after it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And if it doesn't, but you're happy, then who cares?
Exactly, because you're happy. Brilliant. Well, as I mentioned, you've been absolutely fantastic, and this interview has been great, and I'm sure our viewers will love this as well. But is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so, other than I am hoping that I'm going to be able to come and speak to your network at some point at one of your meetings. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, and yeah, I'll see people there. So thank you for having me.
No, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Well, our community members, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode of Feature Friday, and please do link up with Louise on the usual places: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I assume you've got all them, haven't you, Louise?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
My website's wildkindinteriors.co.uk. Perfect.
But for now, keep being amazing, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.